little bit of a more melancholy day for me. I know I'm kind of dressed up like a parrot, and there's a little bit of a reason for that. I had a beautiful parrot fly in this morning as I was watching the sunrise, beautiful blue parrot, and it just gave me this inspiration to kind of feel that vibe today, which is kind of a contrast to how my physical body and my emotional body is actually feeling in this moment, because I have a bit of a virus and I'm not feeling well and my energy is extremely low. So and that's why I sort of hesitated coming on and doing this video today, because I just am not in my best energy. And whenever I'm in this kind of space, I like to really think about it. And part of my process in working through my own energetic feelings and how my energy body and my physical body and my mental body all work together in unison. One thing that for me really helps me in these moments where 100% this morning, the best thing that I could have envisioned to do was absolutely go back to bed and sleep the day away. If I could have done anything in terms of the, first choice, second choice, third choice, it would all be bed, movies, Netflix. But, I have obligations and duty calls, and that's part of our existence. We never know when we're going to feel down for the count. And so as I was reflecting, there's all of these little pieces of insights that were coming to me. So I want to start with the daily ritual part in the whole idea of, like, if you feel like you can't even get out of bed, yes, that's a feeling that your body has. Yes, your body's telling you, oh my God, I can't do it today. But you can 100% override that programming. So that's a little piece of how I'm gonna start this video, is just how I do that when I need to do that. And first of all, it's allowing yourself to have a slow start. So the beginning of any momentum is good. So maybe you're just getting up, you're being kind of lazy, you're having an extra cup of coffee in the morning, and you're sort of what I like to call putzing around. There's not any real directional, focused energy. But what I find is if I am in this very low vibrational state, if I just start doing this putzing around, moving things around, oh, does that plant look good there, or whatever. I know this, it sort of seems silly, but then I get into a mode where my drive starts to take over a little bit, which is exactly what happened. Then I started cleaning my house, then I started doing my dishes, then I started sanitizing everything, and before you know it, that whole feeling of, okay, I'm gonna waste the day in bed just because I chose to get up early and just go outside for 5 minutes and watch the sunrise and putz around, turned into where I am now. And so next step, I wasn't feeling on getting ready, and my next putzing activity was, hey, have a shower. And then because I saw this beautiful parrot, I thought, you know what? I might just go back to bed, but I'm gonna try doing this really funky, like parrot-like eye makeup, which is completely useless, I know, but I enjoy it. It's artistic. So I just started doing something that I really enjoy, And then I started putting the outfit together, and one thing turned into another, and it's like now I feel kind of fabulous, even though I'm totally in the middle of the first couple days of a terrible flu, right? And so I started to actually, as I was cleaning my house, start thinking about, past, present, future. And so I think the theme of this video is that you really never know what's in store for you at any given moment. If I would have anticipated my day based on the feeling that I had at 5 a.m., no way would have I thought I was going to be dressed in feathers and have this crazy eye makeup on, and now I'm going to do all sorts of things with for Christmas and buying presents for some families in need, and I have all these exciting things that are going to happen today. But that's the thing. And then it got me thinking about some of the lowest points in my own timeline, in my own past. And I kind of started to recant and recall a few months in my life where I was extremely sick. And I've talked about this, I think, in one or two other videos, but where it was so, like, I was so immersed in my own story, and certainly was physically going through it, but I didn't have any coping skills to maneuver myself out of that vortex I had gotten myself into. And so with that, with really, when I was in this few months of really just accepting and living into the misery that had manifested within my body systems, I was so overwhelmed by the cascading pain and nerve pain, and everything was just completely wrong. That was the point in time where I really couldn't walk, I couldn't swallow, and I remember really, really contemplating just ending it all. And I'm not talking about like fleeting, it would, maybe I should jump off a bridge or something like that. No, I literally had to call this suicide hotline probably every day for about 3 months. And it would be like hour-long conversations. And it was due to the fact that there would be a point in every day where my physical pain was so much at its peak that I could not fathom any other way to end that physical pain in my body. And of course, there's always some beautiful human on the other end of the phone that was there to just talk me through all of it. But this isn't a story about feeling sorry for oneself. It's a story about never knowing where you're going to end up. Never knowing where you're going to end up, because had I exercised some sort of stupid fleeting idea back then, I would have never had the chance to experience all of the things that I'm able to experience now. And as I was cleaning the house, I had this snapshot back into that, that 20 years ago where I was. Well, I think it was maybe 17 years ago, but I was in the middle of a bankruptcy. I was in the middle of a common law divorce. My body didn't work. I didn't have a job. I had not finished my university, so I had to drop out of college. And I was sick. I didn't feel attractive. I didn't have any friends. I had no family around me visiting me this whole time. Like, I just had no one. And it was just so, like, I was in this mindset of just like, what is the point of all of this? And that brings me back to today. While I was watching the sunrise, I truly believe that the point of all of this is that we grow, we change, we have faith, we believe. And another part of that time travel back into my past was at that period of time, I had a tremendous amount of faith. I wasn't just that time travel back into my past was at that period of time, I had a tremendous amount of faith. I wasn't just in this cataclysm of absolute negativity. I had so much faith in a higher power, in our source energy, in the fact that there was something higher guiding me. And I truly believe that that was so much of what got me through those trying times in my life. But so then, you go to the now moment and you're appreciating so much gratitude. I have so much gratitude today, even though I'm not feeling good. And remembering back to the fact that, it's so magical how you don't know the unfoldment of the next chapter of your life. You just don't know. It's so far beyond what I could have ever even imagined in that moment 17 years ago. So far beyond. Like, doesn't even make sense to me. Like, I have to pinch myself. I've got homes all over the world. I own businesses all over the world, colleges and medical centers and tech companies. And it almost feels like those two individuals or those two lifetimes aren't even within the scope of this lifetime. Why am I telling you this? Specifically because it absolutely does not matter where you sit today. It absolutely does not matter how far down you feel you've gone, how isolated you are, how intensely sad you are, or broken you are, or sick you are. That is not determinant of your future. And if you could just understand like how powerful that is, that literally what you are experiencing in this moment, although it has value, and now looking back, I see the value. The value is the gratitude, the character building, the compassion, the grace, the story, the complexity of all of it. But it's not determinant of who I've become. And even right now, where I am right now is not determinant. It's not determinant of where I could be in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. Those things are so mysterious. And the algorithm of the unfoldment of your life is so divinely orchestrated in magical ways. It's really awe-inspiring. And then the other thing actually that I was thinking, because these are all of these things are coming back to me as I'm sitting here. And then I was in the shower and I was thinking, well, okay, what's the splintering point? How does it fracture into these different timelines? And it hit me like a lightning bolt that the more good you do, the more you choose the right path, the more beautifully the story unfolds. And the more you choose the wrong path, the more difficult it becomes. And I can tell you every single time when I've tried to cut corners, when I've tried to, give something or do something in a half-assed way, or just kind of, whatever, without diligence, without purpose, without attention to detail and care and concern for all pieces and parts. So if I'm doing anything, if I'm doing a job, if I'm creating, if I'm cleaning my house, whatever it is, if I'm sloppy, or if I am only thinking about myself in that action, then the ripple effect is, it's either very flat or if, I'm doing something that has an output that could potentially have negative effects for others, then 100% what is the echo of that is more frustration for me. And it kind of, these, whatever you feel in your young mind is the fastest way to accumulate a lot of money in a short period of time. But unfortunately, doing it that way means that you're probably not doing the best job that you can, because you're speeding through it. You're probably taking on way too many clients, or doing things in a way that there's no real love for the craft, love for the art of it. Okay, because your focus is 100% on the end destination, which is the money. And so you're trying to go so fast that you can't even fall in love with the process. The journey isn't even important anymore, because all that matters is accumulating as much money, mass amounts of money as fast as you can. Okay, and this would be an example of where the universe will calibrate things to gently or not so gently show you a lesson. And so this is where, again, it's so important to take the time to evaluate your environment, to evaluate the self, to figure out what your talents, your goals, your strengths are, and also to put your efforts into the things that light you up, irregardless of financial gain. Because if you are doing that thing that lights you up and you're getting better and better and better at it, the value of that energy output, the fact that that is the core soul frequency of who you are, your greatest loves, whatever they are, and you are gracing others with those things. As you do that, as you move into that, mountains move, great things happen. For me, my rock star qualities are my ability to teach, my ability to guide, my artistic abilities, my creativity, the way that I can put things together. It's always been that way since I was young, and I've always loved doing those things. And so naturally, when I just started getting into the flow of teaching and guiding and building curriculums and building courses and eventually owning colleges where I've developed all of these courses, and I don't have to get into that so much, but what I'm saying is the love for what I truly enjoy doing was all I was doing, and the money did come from it, and it wasn't fast money. That's the other thing. It's that slow, diligent, passionate, the journey, and the journey is beautiful, and I wouldn't change anything. So that's the other message, is sometimes the low points, the sicknesses, where you go bankrupt, where you're knocked off your feet, where you wake up with a flu, those can be some of your most transformative periods of time, or when the most insight comes to you. So that's that. I mean, I don't really need to go on more than that in this video, because I'm actually a little bit sleepy, and I have some medication that I'm taking too. So my brain is not all there today, so I apologize if some of my delineations are a little bit slower than usual. But I want to wish you all a very beautiful day. It is Christmas Eve, even though I'm here in beautiful tropical country. It doesn't feel very Christmassy, but I'm heading out to buy gifts for some families that can't afford gifts this Christmas, and buy them some food and whatnot. So I'll deliver them a little bit later. So that's sort of what's on the agenda for my day today. But again, just wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. And I will likely see you in the next video.